but this is a sustained, evil, and absolutely unhinged attempt to destroy my life. And I really don't, I'm tired of mincing words at this point. He is trying to ruin my life. He's trying to inflict emotional harm, physical harm on me. He knows exactly what he's doing. And this is one of the most wicked people that I've ever dealt with. I'm not trying to seek attention with this, but the people who are buying into this narrative, they exist.
The chess world is reeling, not just from heartbreak, but from confusion, anger, and disbelief. It's the kind of story that no one ever expects to see unfold, especially not in a community built around intellect, discipline, and respect. The sudden death of Grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky has left millions stunned, mourning a man who wasn't just a brilliant player, but one of the most beloved voices in modern chess. And yet, as tributes poured in, another story began to surface, one darker and more complicated. It wasn't just about the loss of a champion, it was about what might have led to it. Daniel Naroditsky, or Danya as fans affectionately called him, wasn't just another name on a leaderboard. To countless players and students, he was a symbol of what chess could be: thoughtful, patient, kind, and endlessly curious. He was one of those rare people who could make a game of strategy feel like a story, guiding his audience through every move with warmth and humor. At only 29 years old, Daniel had already accomplished what most could only dream of. He was a grandmaster, a respected coach at the Charlotte Chess Center, a published author, and a streamer loved by hundreds of thousands for his calm and generous teaching style. That's why when news broke earlier this week that Daniel had been found dead in his home, people couldn't process it. According to police, there were no signs of foul play, but the cause of death has not yet been officially released. His family, speaking through the Charlotte Chess Center, called it an unbearable loss and asked for privacy as they grieved. For many fans, it didn't feel real. Just days before, Daniel had been live on Twitch, doing what he loved most: analyzing games, cracking jokes, helping others see beauty in complexity. That final stream, now watched by millions, has taken on an eerie weight. He seemed calm, reflective, the same Daniel everyone knew. No one could have imagined it would be the last time they'd see him. But even as people mourned, something unsettling began to grow beneath the surface. Conversations about grief quickly turned into conversations about blame and about a controversy that had already been brewing long before Daniel's death. At the center of that controversy stood one of the most recognizable figures in chess history: Vladimir Kramnik, the former world champion and one of the greatest players of the early 2000s. To understand how we got here, you have to go back to late 2024, when Kramnik began an aggressive public campaign against what he claimed was rampant cheating in online chess. He started posting long, data-heavy threads online, especially on X, formerly Twitter, claiming that some top players' online performances were statistically impossible without computer help. He wasn't subtle either. He named names, shared charts, and implied that certain grandmasters and streamers were using chess engines or hidden devices to boost their play. And one of the players he repeatedly mentioned, sometimes directly, sometimes through thinly veiled hints, was Daniel Naroditsky. Now, it's important to understand what that meant. Kramnik isn't just any player. He's a legend, a former world champion, a man whose name carries enormous weight in chess circles. So when he accuses someone of dishonesty, it doesn't just stay on social media. It spreads, it echoes, it sticks. At one point, Kramnik even challenged Daniel to a $50,000 over-the-board match, claiming that face-to-face competition would prove who was truly skilled and who wasn't. But Daniel didn't take the bait. He refused, saying that engaging with baseless accusations would only give power to toxic speculation. Still, Kramnik didn't stop. He kept posting screenshots, graphs, sarcastic comments. Each post sent waves through the chess world. Some fans began defending Kramnik, saying he was fighting for fairness. Others accused him of bullying and paranoia. Even well-known creators like Levi Rosman, better known as Gotham Chess, stepped in, joking, "At this point, being accused by Kramnik is almost a compliment." That line summed up the growing frustration, that Kramnik seemed to be accusing almost anyone who performed well online. But for Daniel, this wasn't funny. It wasn't a meme. It was personal. Daniel had built his entire reputation on his integrity, not just his skill. He wasn't flashy. He didn't trash-talk opponents. He was known for being calm, humble, and endlessly fair. To have his honesty questioned by one of the most respected players in chess must have felt like a dagger to the heart. In an emotional appearance on the Take podcast, Daniel finally spoke out. For once, the soft-spoken grandmaster sounded angry and deeply hurt. "I'm really sick of it," he said. "I'm not going to tolerate this kind of hate any longer." Then he said something that resonated across the community. "Cheating is the worst crime a chess player can commit, but accusing someone without proof, that's just as immoral. It's a reputation crime." And then, with an uncharacteristic flash of anger, he added, "What Kramnik has done, and what everyone supporting him has done, morally it makes you worse than dirt." For someone as reserved as Daniel, those words were powerful. They revealed how much pain he was carrying, not just as a chess player defending his name, but as a person trying to hold on to his dignity. After that interview, both sides went quiet. Kramnik stopped naming Daniel directly, though his posts continued to question others. Daniel retreated from the debate, focusing on teaching and creating positive content again. But beneath the surface, friends say the damage was done. The stress of the accusations, the endless speculation online, the cruel comments from strangers, it all weighed on him. Then, suddenly, tragedy struck. When the news broke that Daniel had died, grief and anger collided online. Fans mourned, but many also turned their heartbreak into outrage. Within hours, social media was flooded with posts, some honoring Daniel's life, others blaming Kramnik directly. One user wrote, "Sadly, Daniel Naroditsky was bullied by Vladimir Kramnik until he took his own life. Whether that's true or not, we may never fully know. But the sentiment shows just how raw the emotions are. People weren't just sad, they were furious. Because to them, it felt like a gentle soul had been pushed too far. Right now, the chess community is caught between grief and guilt. There's the heartbreak of losing someone kind and brilliant, and the uncomfortable question of whether public words, repeated again and again, might have contributed to his pain. It's forcing everyone, players, fans, streamers, and legends alike, to think about the culture of online competition, about how easy it is to throw accusations into the digital world without considering the human being on the other end. But here's what's important to remember. None of those claims have been proven. Authorities haven't made any connection between Vladimir Kramnik, the former world champion whose accusations had targeted Daniel in the months before, and Daniel's death. There's been no official evidence, no confirmed link, nothing but speculation. And Daniel's family, already trying to survive the unimaginable pain of losing him, has made one clear and heartfelt request. Please stop the blame game. They've asked the public not to engage in wild theories or point fingers online. Instead, they want people to focus on the kind of man Daniel was, his kindness, his integrity, and his love for chess. They've pleaded with the community to remember his life, not sensationalize his death. Still, that hasn't stopped the online storm. Social media has a way of magnifying tragedy, and soon the conversation spiraled beyond Daniel himself. What started as grief and confusion turned into something much bigger, a full-blown debate about the darker side of the online chess world and, more broadly, the internet culture we all live in today. People began asking hard questions. How did things get so toxic? How did a game as beautiful and cerebral as chess, a game built on patience, logic, and respect, become a breeding ground for hostility, gossip, and accusations? How did it get to a point where someone's mental well-being could be crushed under the weight of social media pressure? Because the truth is, even in intellectual spaces like chess, mental health struggles are real. The constant comparison, the fear of being judged, the endless stream of online comments, it can wear anyone down, no matter how strong or composed they seem. And Daniel, for all his brilliance, was still human. To his fans, Daniel wasn't just a grandmaster. He was a teacher who made chess feel alive. He had this special ability to take the most complex positions on the board and explain them in a way that made sense to everyone, from total beginners to aspiring pros. Through his YouTube videos and Twitch streams, he made chess accessible. He brought people together. He showed that the game wasn't just about intellect, it was about curiosity, creativity, and community. That's what made his loss feel so personal. People didn't just admire Daniel, they knew him, or at least they felt like they did. He was part of their daily routines, their evenings, their study sessions. He was the voice that made chess feel less intimidating and more human. Now, his passing has left behind a silence that feels impossible to fill. It's also left behind a series of uncomfortable but necessary questions. How do we hold people accountable when their words online become harmful? How do we stop the cycle of negativity that spreads faster than truth? How do we protect players, or anyone really, from the emotional toll of living under a microscope in the digital age? Because in today's world, all it takes is a post. One accusation, one angry thread, one rumor, to start a fire that can't be put out. And once it's burning, it spreads everywhere. For Daniel, who valued honesty above all else, that was a wound that never truly healed. But in the middle of all this chaos, one thing remains clear. Daniel Naroditsky's story shouldn't be defined by controversy. It should be defined by light. The light he brought into a community that needed it, the inspiration he gave to others, and the lessons he left behind. His impact is still everywhere. His videos continue to teach new players every day. His calm, encouraging voice still echoes in classrooms, clubs, and living rooms around the world. His lessons on patience, humility, and sportsmanship will live on for generations. He showed everyone that chess isn't just about winning, it's about thinking deeply, acting with integrity, and treating others with respect, even in moments of pressure or loss. And maybe, just maybe, that's the lesson the chess world, and the online world, needs to remember most right now. 2 days before he died, Daniel uploaded what would unknowingly become one of the most haunting videos of his life. On the surface, it looked like just another upload. Daniel sitting at his desk, walking viewers through another chess session, calm and composed as always. But when you really watch it closely, when you listen beyond the analysis, something feels different. His tone was softer, his pauses were longer. The spark that usually danced in his eyes, the one that lit up every stream, seemed a little dimmer. He spoke about needing a break, about stepping back to think creatively, about reevaluating what he wanted to do next. To most, it just sounded like a regular update. But now, in hindsight, those words hit like a whisper of something deeper. Fans who have gone back to rewatch the video say it's almost impossible not to notice the emotion behind his smile, the subtle tremor in his voice, the fleeting moments where he stared off before continuing his thought. It wasn't dramatic or obvious, but it was there. A quiet sadness that only makes sense now, knowing what came after. Daniel had always been open about the pressures of balancing content creation, competition, and the constant expectations that came with being in the public eye. He spoke openly about burnout, about how even doing what you love can start to feel heavy when the noise around you doesn't stop. But in that final video, it feels as though he was trying to say something that words alone couldn't capture. Maybe it was his way of reaching out without fully realizing it. Maybe it was just a moment of reflection. We'll never truly know. But for his fans, that video has become something sacred, a final glimpse of the person they admired, the teacher who inspired them, the quiet genius who gave so much of himself to a game he loved. Even now, people rewatch it not just for the chess lessons, but for the humanity in it, for the reminder that behind every grandmaster, streamer, or public figure, there's a real person with feelings, doubts, and struggles.
But this is a sustained, evil, and absolutely unhinged attempt to destroy my life. And I really don't, I'm tired of mincing words at this point. He is trying to ruin my life. He's trying to inflict emotional harm, physical harm on me. He knows exactly what he's doing. And this is one of the most wicked people that I've ever dealt with. I'm not trying to seek attention with this, but the people who are buying into this narrative, they exist. What's going on? Are we playing or not? Hans, come on. Are we playing or not? Thank you for the sub, appreciate it. This is not right. This is really not right. Dude, this is not right. This is... What's going on?
It's Peter and Sasha.
Hey, please just let me play a few more and then I'll end the stream. What are you doing?
You gotta go to sleep, man.
I know. Just give me a few more games and then I'll go to sleep. I set a 2 a.m. curfew. What's the matter? Five more games, by 2 a.m. I'm in bed. Please. The plan is to play until 2, and then I'm off to bed. Just... I don't understand what the issue is. Please let me play a few more games of chess in peace, and I'm off to bed. This is not a negotiation, guys. We got this. All for one and one for all. All right, guys. Thank you for watching.
And that's what Daniel's story ultimately teaches us. That empathy matters. That words have weight. That kindness isn't just a virtue. It's a responsibility. So when we talk about Daniel Naroditsky, let's not remember him for the rumors or the controversy. Let's remember the laughter in his streams, the patience in his teaching, the sparkle in his voice when he explained a beautiful move. Let's remember how he made us feel, inspired, comforted, and connected.